Hello and welcome to Take 6. I am streaming executive producer Thomas Mates, filling in for Julie Broughton. She has the day off, but she should return tomorrow. We have a very full show for you today. We are going to be taking a look at some of the best cars of 2025. We'll also be taking a look at how a shortage of construction workers are driving up costs for development and building projects all across Central Florida and across the entire country. We'll also be getting an update on the health of Pope Francis. He is currently in critical condition. The Vatican has said he is showing some improvements, although his health remains, again, in critical condition. He remains in the hospital. All that'll be coming up in just a few moments. But first, we have to get a look at a terrible case of child abuse out of Lake County. Detectives there have said that the child, a 10-year-old boy, is in critical condition and that he was tortured. And now the boy's mother and a man are facing child abuse charges. News 6's Mark Lehman has the latest on that investigation.
Today we're seeing activity from Tavares police here at the home where they say the young victim was tortured for weeks. As that boy is now fighting for his life, we're also getting an update on the case from investigators.
We are being as thorough as we can. What happened to this child is obviously devastating.
Detective Courtney Sullivan was with a team gathering evidence today in connection to what she calls a case of abuse and torture involving a 10-year-old boy.
No child deserves what this child got. No child.
That child is in critical condition after investigators say the boy's mother, Kimberly Mills, and her boyfriend, Andre Walker, dropped him off at Advent Health Waterman Hospital Saturday night. According to police, the child was covered in severe bruises and burns. It sounds like what happened to this child is horrific.
It was horrific. Probably the worst thing that I have heard.
Just this morning, Walker was ordered to remain in jail on a charge of accessory to aggravated child abuse. Mills is also being held without bond after detectives say they found evidence of prolonged abuse inside the victim's home.
I will tell you this, more charges are coming. More charges are coming for both of them.
Sullivan says she's unsure if the boy will survive and charges will be upgraded if he passes away. Meanwhile, investigators are working to learn more about the child's injuries.
We are doing what we can to ensure this little boy gets the justice that he deserves.
I'm being told there's still a lot of possible evidence here in this home, and detectives are working to preserve as much as possible. Now, as for the suspects in this case, both have arraignments set for next month. In Tavares, Mark Lehman, getting results, News 6.
Okay, we are now taking a live look at the Vatican, where Pope Francis is recovering in the hospital. The faithful around the world have been praying for the Pope's health ever since he first went into the hospital, experiencing issues with breathing. He has since also suffered some level of kidney failure, although again the Vatican has said that there has been some improvement in the Pope's condition. For the latest on that, we turn to CBS News.
The faithful are doing what their pontiff asked, to pray for him outside his Rome hospital and around the world. On St. Peter's Square Monday evening, a vigil was held not long after that latest medical report was released.
I'm happy to hear that another day went by and he didn't sound like he was getting worse, but it also doesn't sound like he's getting a lot better.
We asked our Dr. John LaPook to help us make sense of the latest.
Some of the details in Monday night's dispatch from the Vatican include today there were no episodes of asthmatic respiratory crisis. One of the lines read, some laboratory tests have improved. How do you read that?
It's hard to read that, Seth, without having the specific lab information, the numbers.
The 88-year-old presents a complex case. He has double pneumonia, had a prolonged respiratory crisis over the weekend, and blood transfusions. Sunday night, we learned of mild kidney failure, which, as of the latest update, doctors say does not cause concern.
Can someone recover from this?
It depends what you mean by recover. I mean, he has underlying lung problems that he will have for the rest of his life. With each episode, it's like a fighter who takes another punch and another punch and another punch, and after a while, it's hard to keep getting up from the mat.
We asked Dr. LaPook what else he'd be looking for in future updates from the Vatican. He said he'd be looking at kidney function, trying to see if there are any more blood transfusions given to the Pope, or if doctors continue to lessen the amount of oxygen being administered. Of course, he'd also be monitoring if any new problems popped up. Seth Doan, CBS News, Rome.
I know that the faithful will remain vigilant, offering prayers to the Pope, and we hope that for his recovery as well. Now, shifting to our boomtown, we know that Florida's population is booming. It is growing every day, and that the development just can't seem to keep up. However, those developments and buildings and construction all across the state and across the country are experiencing issues with rising costs and a shortage of workers. For more on how that's impacting us here in Central Florida, News 6 anchor Justin Wormuth.
The industry is in a crisis right now of retirement.
Michelle Doherty is the CEO of Associated Builders and Contractors, or ABC, a national trade association representing thousands of construction workers. The crisis is this.
Right now, we still have about a 500,000 person shortage in the construction industry.
The shortage is exacerbating the already high construction costs that are passed on to consumers, not to mention keeping projects on schedule.
Not only do we need to bring more people in, we need to get them experience and exposure to the industry faster than ever.
For every 3 people retiring in the industry, just 1 is being hired. So ABC is focused on the youth. In fact, the organization recently invited 100 teenagers to its Orlando office, showcasing the different careers that are in high demand.
We're doing epic things here in Central Florida. We're building amusement parks and hospitals and all of these things. And we want to show the young folks all of the different career opportunities right here in Central Florida.
The Florida legislature has passed the strongest legislation to combat illegal immigration of any state in the entire country.
But could sweeping immigration reform at the state and federal level make the shortage even deeper?
And I have a lot of clients who are in the construction industry.
Orlando attorney Anthony Suarez thinks it will. He told us not all, but most of his clients are undocumented immigrants who do drywall, roofing, and other home construction jobs.
And they're working hard, they have good businesses, they pay their taxes, and they own land and real estate. So yes, they're all petrified, they're afraid.
Across the country, immigrants account for 31% of all workers in construction trades. Florida has an even higher clip at 38%. The National Association of Builders is on record saying, quote, mass deportation is not the answer because any shock to the labor force would have an adverse impact on housing costs and supply.
Roofing is a very difficult job. It is painful to be up in there. It's hard to find Americans actually doing that job.
Which makes the outreach ABC is doing,
We have a lot of building to do.
even more important for Central Florida's future.
Because without us doing our job, then there are no other careers. You can't be a doctor if you have no hospital. You can't be a bank unless you have the building. Our foundation of the buildings we build can be a part of the future of Central Florida.
That was News 6 anchor Justin Wormuth reporting. You can find all of Justin's stories on clickorlando.com/boomtown, including that story as well. It's been topping the charts here at Clicko today, and clickorlando.com rather. So we want to hear from you. Please leave your comments in the comment section and let us know what you think about everything that's happening here in Central Florida insofar as our booming population and the construction happening. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll be getting a look at the top cars of 2025 according to Consumer Reports, and of course we'll have a check on your forecast. Things are drying up a little bit today, but some cooler weather is due again this weekend. All that's coming up in just about 2 minutes.
Karen,
Eric, hi. Good to see you.
so nice to meet you this way in your car. This is a first for me.
Kind of a strange way to meet, but
It is.
okay.
Clearly, you already know that I'm Eric Von Eyck, the Handy Newsman, and I don't know if you know that Destiny is in your back seat. And you have been trying, Karen, to get these three little buttons to work for a long time now.
Exactly.
You have your car manual.
Right, it's in the glove box.
Okay, we'll start there.
Okay, I'll let you work.
Aha. Okay, Karen's lucky because her car happens to have a garage door remote built into the visor, but it's got to be programmed first. That's why we need the manual. Step one is make sure you have your portable garage door remote handy, the one that came with your opener. Now here's your first house hack. Before you do any programming, the first thing you want to do is erase any old garage codes that might have been stored in this remote. So the manual tells me how to do that by pushing down these two buttons and holding them until the light blinks. Step two, follow the instructions. Okay, first, with your vehicle parked outside the garage, switch your ignition to the on position, but do not start your vehicle. Then it says hold down both buttons, so that's the one on the handheld remote and on the visor until you see a red light start to flash. Well, it flashed, but it didn't stay solid red, which is what we need. Since that didn't work, we're going to try this. Further down in the instructions, it says programming your garage door motor. So we're going to give that a shot. It says go inside the garage and push the learn button. I'm going to show you that. This is the learn button. On this motor, it's actually called the program button. You have to push it or, in this case, hold it. You'll see a light flash, and then you got 30 seconds to get back to the car. It says hold this for 2 seconds until it stops blinking. And look, that was it. That was the key. The learn button made all the difference. I'm gonna go get Karen. All right, Karen. Push that button, the middle button.
It's going.
We got it?
Yay!
We got results at home in car.
Love it, love it.
It may seem like common sense to just read the directions, but I know I've certainly been guilty of trying to skip the directions and figuring out for myself before. So important getting results at home lesson from News 6 anchor Eric Von Eyck. Speaking of cars, many people may be looking in the market for a new car, but of course, when you purchase a car, it's a big purchase. So you want to make sure you're getting your money's worth. News 6 Insider Guide Crystal Moyer takes a look at the top cars of 2025 with Consumer Reports.
With over 250 new vehicles on the market and prices continuing to rise, finding a safe, reliable, and budget-friendly car can be challenging, right? I'm News 6 anchor and insider guide Crystal Moyer, and today Consumer Reports released its top cars, trucks, and SUVs for 2025 to help you make the right choice. Every day, Consumer Reports tests new vehicles at its state-of-the-art facility, evaluating everything from safety and performance to fuel efficiency and cargo space. So here are Consumer Reports' top picks for 2025. The Toyota Highlander Hybrid is CR's choice for the best mid-sized SUV.
The Highlander Hybrid is a great choice for a family road trip with 3 rows of seating, 35 miles per gallon overall in Consumer Reports testing, and a near 600-mile cruising range.
The Subaru Forester is CR's pick for the best compact SUV. Its redesigned cabin is quiet and comfortable, and it gains some cargo space. The Forester is also efficient, averaging 29 miles per gallon in Consumer Reports tests. But a car doesn't have to be expensive to be a top pick. Take the Nissan Sentra, which starts at just over $20,000.
It has great handling, a comfortable ride, intuitive controls, and a ton of its standard advanced safety features, making it an exceptional value.
The redesigned Toyota Camry is only available as a hybrid. This top pick for sedans is fun to drive, reliable, and fuel efficient. Ford makes the list with Maverick and Maverick Hybrid pickup trucks. It's not as big as other pickups today, but the Maverick Hybrid delivers a stunning 37 miles per gallon. For those wanting to go fully electric, the Tesla Model Y is Consumer Reports' pick. I posted the full list of their top choices on clickorlando.com/insider. In the studio, Crystal Moyer, Getting Results, News 6.
I know I would love to get a new car, but unfortunately I'm just not in the position to do that right now. You know, I've got an old beater, been with me since 2011 or so, I'm going to drive that around for at least a little bit while longer, but I'll definitely keep an eye out on those in a couple years when I'm looking for a used car. Anyways, we are now taking a look at the weather. It was a wet start today, but things are drying out, although we are expecting a bit of a cool down later in the week. News 6 Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos has more.
I'm News 6 Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. Thank you for heading on to clickorlando.com and our Pinpoint Weather app. After the wettest day of 2025 so far, we are going to start trending drier, all thanks to an area of low pressure trailing cold front that will continue to exit out into the Atlantic, possibly developing further out towards the northeast. But in its wake, we are going to start really tapping into much drier air. So in the meantime, as that low continues to pull away, we still have a slight chance for rain, especially along our coastal communities, with coverage up to about 30 to 40%, at least until about mid-morning. Throughout the afternoon, though, the skies will clear and temperatures will be back just below average. We're talking the upper 60s to low 70s along our coastline, closing in on those mid 70s the further inland you go throughout the day. Then later on for your Tuesday night, rather than starting off in the 60s like we have for the past few mornings, we're going to be starting off closer to near normal, nearing 50 to the mid 50s, pretty much area wide under partly cloudy skies. So again, that low will continue to slide out into the Atlantic. A little ridge of high pressure builds in for a few days, keeping things dry. And then we are going to be tapping into our another stronger cold front. This one not producing much in the way of rainfall with it, so we're going to keep just a slight chance for rain on Thursday. But once that front clears, drier, cooler air with temperatures dropping back down into the 60s for highs for just one day, and then we'll be rebounding just in time for the weekend. As we get results here, the full 7-day forecast. Again, after that soggy start to the work week, we are going to trend much drier over the next couple of days, closing in on near 80 degrees by Thursday with another little dip of winter by the end of the week.
All right, I don't know about you, but I am looking forward to those 60-degree temperatures. I can't deal with the heat personally, but I know it's a fan favorite for a lot of people here in Central Florida. In any case, that'll do it for us here on Take 6. Thank you so much for your time today. We'll be back on News 6 at 4 with all your weather and headlines. Thank you so much for your time and have a pleasant day.